Today's video will be a brief chat on lineage in Tai Chi or really anything else. And there are a few important factors. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly, so to speak, of lineage. So most commonly, some of the good things that you get out of following a lineage is potentially some teachings that would have been kept a little bit more secret, more for indoor students. And this is a thing that's out there. There are lessons and ways of teaching and ways of learning that are more secretive. And this is really natural, especially if your system has a martial background. No one of any intelligence would share the deeper secrets of their art if they were living in a time where that art was being used for real purposes that maybe would be keeping them alive. So you'd want to be careful about who you share that information with. So that's one of the benefits of finding a lineage, is that there are some teachings which might not be so common or so public, and those might be very helpful for the development of the art in its deeper senses and deeper places. Now, very commonly with lineage is that we find attachment of the practitioner to the teachings of that lineage, and this can drastically interfere with the practitioner's development. The best practitioners in Tai Chi, in the martial arts, in the Qigong and meditative worlds that I've ever met have all been very open-minded and all have a attitude about perceiving what is and finding what works and what might work better. So an example of something that is a teaching someone might attach to, even a really basic teaching, like in Tai Chi, there's a lot of systems that use, in their slow form, pivoting on the heel, and if the heels aren't on the ground, that can be seen as a bad thing. But that's just a teaching tool. So we want to be able to discern the differences between a teaching tool and a system. If we get stuck in the teaching tools of a system, we never really get beyond that tool, right? The tool is there for a reason, to teach or embed some lesson or some quality within the student. And if we get stuck on that tool, we'll never move beyond it. As one of my teachers used to say, it's just the thing to the next thing, right? Whatever the lesson is, that lesson is just a stepping stone to the next lesson. And so we want to remain as open-minded as possible when encountering the arts. Now, for myself, I've never pursued lineage, and I honestly have a hard time remembering all the sounds of the names that are associated with various lineages. And it's never been so important to me. It's often used as an appeal to authority, this podium that practitioners can stand on to espouse the efficacy of their art. Much more importantly for me is the skill of the practitioner and how they interact with the world. Do they interact with the world in a kind way or not? And then what is their actual skill within the art at a physical, an energetic, and a mental level? So these are things that I like to look for personally when I'm finding teachers. And good teachers seem to be quite open and enjoy teaching students who are engaged, willing to put in the time and the effort to practice. And if you have an open mind, it's that much greater in effect, because now the teacher can teach you openly. They don't have to fight against your preconceptions and what you might want to contend with them over. They don't have to deal with that, because you can just listen. And everyone's got something to teach you on that level. So with lineage, be careful that we don't get stuck on that lineage. There's always something more. There's always something more to discover. We don't want to limit ourselves by attaching ourselves to a lineage, in my opinion, for myself. Okay, so that doesn't mean you don't respect what that lineage might have to teach, what the deeper lessons might be, and maybe even some more secretive teachings that might be within that lineage. That's likely there. Okay. But I really, really would encourage anybody to maintain an open mind and an open heart with the arts, and to explore different teachings, and not to create these foundations, these pillars of their identity that are locked into very specific views, which in the scope of things are small-minded. So if the mind is open, the identity isn't attached to any of these specific views or specific teachings, we can use those teachings as a tool to help us develop ourselves, our understanding of the arts. But it's really about developing you. The art is used to develop you. And if you, or the thing that you think is you, is stuck on one part of the arts, that's a really good lesson to let go of that attachment, that part of the identity that's stuck there, so that we can move and evolve and grow and change. So that's about it from me for the moment on Lineage. Have fun, practice, enjoy, and explore. Later.